So deep cover investigation. We are on the scene, and we are here to determine if Sony Interactions have been doing some faulty activity. We are going to go under the surface and get into the rug. And I brought a former criminal investigator himself. United Cass is here today, and I welcome him because this is a very extensive crime investigation, and we want to be very thorough. And we want to backtrack everything to make sure we dot our I's and cross our T's. So this is a very, very, very extensive investigation, and we want everybody here to follow us because we just want to get down to it. First and foremost, want to make sure that Microsoft isn't doing anything shiesty or any shifty moves within their services and game plans that they have across the world. Also Nintendo. But then there's one that's just got a red flag on it, and that's Sony Interactive. And we're gonna get down to it, y'all. We're going deep cover. My man United Cash, you ready to go deep cover, man? This is something serious, bro.
Yes, sir, brother. We can get this done.
Let's get this done. We're bringing in all our equipment, y'all, but we're gonna stay within the boundaries of the law. We're gonna stay within the boundaries of the law in these gaming streets. We want to welcome you to Di-RREC Gaming. We want to welcome my man United Cass, and you already know this is the new legal. Guys, welcome to Deep Cover.
Good to be here.
When Deep Cover goes deep cover. Let's get to it, Cass.
Deep cover, undercover. It's good to be here, man. Good to be here, man. Good to see you again, man. And good to get this on here and get this going, man. Sony is really, they got to be exposed to what they are and who they are, man. It's just what it is,
look, fam,
bro.
Look. I was digging up. In my file cabinets, man. Because we're not gonna just go off these faulty accusations. We're gonna get down to it, man. And in my data watch, man.
Yep.
I went all the way back, 7 years back, as a matter of fact, man.
2013.
Found out an interesting find.
Okay.
That a data watchdog had fined Sony over 250,000 euros, man, over the PlayStation ID hack. Now, mind you, that this PlayStation ID hack happened 2 years prior to this I have right now. This happened in 2011, man. And they are getting fined again in 2013 over it. And what I found out was the Information Commissioner fines the company for security failures. Wow. Security failures, my man. The fact that a company would create its own infrastructure by buyouts, and not by design, but by buyouts, gain other companies to do the work to pretty much do what they were already doing and make platforms off of it. But to not secure your consumers, to not secure them, that's a very faulty claim that kind of gave me raised the brow to my investigation, because this thing was linked all the way back to 2011. And as I keep going, my man, I found out that there was personal details from millions of gamers, man, that included passwords and credit card numbers. They were all linked online. Now, guess what, my brother? Yes,
sir.
The watchdog himself said this, man. There's no disguising that this is a business that should have known better. Yeah. It is a company that trades on its technical expertise. And there's no doubt in my mind that they had access to both the technical knowledge and the resources to keep this information safe. Now, this guy was called David. He's named David Smith, not called. He's named David Smith, and this is the ICO's Deputy Commissioner and Director of Data Protection. This is a big deal. The watchdog said millions of consumers were exposed to the risk of identity theft after their names, addresses, email addresses, date of birth, the account passwords were leaked online. Now, before I keep going and pass this mic over to my man, United Cast, who's going to do his second investigation. I'm going to do the first one. He's going to do the second one, and we're going to conclude the evidence that we have, and we're gonna find out if we can come to a verdict. But man, you know what got me, my man, is there's some kind of weirdo stuff, right? The mentality.
Yes.
When you got millions of people that still back up a company that put you at risk,
right?
Where all your information is out there.
Yeah.
There's a weird mentality to support something like that. So you gotta understand, man, the base concept for the PlayStation community is unlike anything ever, man. It's an ultimate brainwashed society from a company who does not even protect them, who will lie to them. Nope, so I made a lie claim. So since I made a lie claim, Kaz, this is about deep cover. We can't just say stuff on this show and not be corrected on it, right? We can't just make observations. I mean, realize that there's observations and make assumptions based on that. We gotta come with the facts. So I call them a liar. So we're gonna make sure you're gonna hold me accountable to that.
Yes, sir.
But the fact that they don't even keep their consumers safe, now that's a fact.
That's the thing. Consumers come first, man. Consumers come first.
Right.
And when you don't protect them as a business,
that's right, brother. That's right. The ICO, my man, launched an investigation into the leak immediately after the hack in April 2011, right? And it concluded on Thursday, which was part of the 7-year back. Let's say April of 2013, people. That's what that means. In April of 2013, that they had concluded that the attack could have been prevented. Now that's crazy. If Sony software had been up to date. Now, people, we've been telling you that Sony's been behind from the get-go. You are behind now because of these shifty malpractices. You are behind, and it's going to really show in next generation. I want to make that known. But the fact that this was old software being used that was outdated and separately found that passwords were not handled securely by the game's giant. So, United Cast, the things that you practiced in the past and you think you get away with will come to light.
Come back
one
to haunt
day.
you, brother.
It comes back to haunt you, right?
Come back to haunt you.
So watch this. The security breach was a huge blow for Sony, forcing its then chief executive, Sir Howard Stringer, into a humble apology and causing its share price to tumble as investors worried about the ultimate cost of the hack, right? The 250,000 euro fine is the third largest penalty ever imposed by the ICU, with only 2 local authorities fined more than Sony, right? Here's what Smith said, brother. If you are responsible for so many payment card details and login details, then keeping that personal data secure has to be your priority. In this case, that just doesn't happen. And when the database was targeted, I'll bet, in a determined criminal attack, the security measures in place were simply not good enough. So where do we land with that? The penalty we've issued today is clearly substantial, but we make no apologies for it. The case is one of the most serious ever reported to us. Listen to what I am telling my brother Kaz right now. I found the report that this case is one of the most serious ever reported to us. It directly affected a huge number of consumers, at the very least put them at risk of identity theft. And you got people today pom-pomming for Sony's PlayStation and all of its service activities. Now watch this, fam.
At least 110 million consoles out there, at least.
At least, bro.
So you see how many people that you're dealing with.
Now watch this, fam. Now watch this. I'm gonna get off of this one, and we're gonna keep going, people, because there's a trail. There's a trail, right?
Yep, it's called the track record.
Data protection body. That's right. The data protection body said that attackers exploited a vulnerability in Sony's network following several distributed denial of service DDoS attacks, which overwhelmed Sony's network by flooding it with requests to load information. The Japanese electronics giant failed to address the vulnerability, so they knew about it and didn't even say nothing.
And told you that they wasn't going to.
They knew about it, fam.
They told us they weren't going to do anything about it too. That's a key one too. They said they weren't going to put money towards the infrastructure. They said that.
They said
that's
that
unbelievable.
A long time ago. Now watch this. The Japanese electronics giant failed to address the vulnerability even after it had spotted the unauthorized access on April the 19th of 2011. According to the ICO, it said that the Sony network had now been completely rebuilt. Lied. Sony responded robustly to the fine, saying it strongly disagreed with the ruling and planned to appeal. Are you serious right now? You've been caught red-handed, but your ego wants to lash back and appeal. Okay, so we're gonna see if this big time appeal ever came to be, and did Sony actually learn from this? We're gonna keep that in mind. So watch this. Here's what in an added statement. This is Sony's best comment to offer. Criminal attacks on electronic networks are a real and growing aspect of 21st century life. So, as Sony continually works to strengthen our systems, building in multiple layers of defense and working to make our network safe, secure, and resilient. Well, who are they fooling, bro? Who are they talking to? You know what, Cass?
No, man.
As far as this one's concerned, I did my thorough investigation from the 2011 hack up into the 2013 fine for Sony. I got him. I caught him in 2 accounts of lying. The first one is right here on this one. The second one, we won't bring up yet because we're gonna prove my second lie that I caught them on. But they are clearly guilty of holding back crucial information to their consumers and allowing their services to be outdated by old software. So what I found, my brother, is for the first case out of many, this one, Sony is guilty of, brother.
Guilty.
I hear about some rumors up in the UK, fam. I hear about some rumors. I don't know if it's true, but can you elaborate on what you found in the UK,
man.
sir?
Well, besides everything that you had talked about leading up to this, man, I mean, you got more security situations going on with Sony, and not even only security situations going on, you have them straight blatantly lying to customers, telling them false things that they should not be telling them, and going against laws that were put in place already for the Australian people in Australia. So I mean, it's just nuts the way that the thing was done. Okay, so now you got Europe conducting an investigation. First of all, they conducted an investigation of all the companies, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. Found Sony to be suspect in something that they were even involved in last year. It was brought to the light that they were going to be sued by Australia last year. It was threatened. They was threatened to be sued. They said, listen, you got these customers here. They got some games. Now they're trying to get their refunds, but you're telling them things like, listen, you know what? You can't get your refund now because you got to wait for developers to authorize it. You don't authorize, developers don't have to authorize anything for you to get a refund. That has to go through the company itself. Also, they're telling them that not only do they have to wait for developers, they tell them that, listen, okay, you know what? You got these games or whatever. Now you don't worry about it. We got you covered. We're going to give you a refund electronically. Guess what? They failed to do that too. So now you got 4 people who are very upset, and don't keep this in mind. Don't look at this as saying, okay, you know what, 4 people, this happened to 4 people, and then it happened to a 5th. They've been lying to people for years. This has been going on for years.
Now wait a minute. You jumped the gun, my man. Wait a minute.
What?
I want you to stay on what you found in the UK only. What did you find in the UK? did we find what was the UK thinking about doing, man? Wasn't they trying? From what I'm hearing, wasn't they trying to investigate on Sony, Microsoft, and PlayStation?
They did an investigation on all of them, but they found Sony guilty, and that's the thing. They're still conducting an investigation. They found them guilty on what was told about these 5 individuals. So it has been
Wait a minute. That's a good topic right there. We will get to that in a minute. So what you're saying to me is that you went and did some investigations and found out that this UK thing is a direct line to what was done in Australia, and that the UK now is conducting an investigation on possible fraudulent with Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. But we haven't heard anything on the other two.
No,
but you was talking about some consumers, and we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
Okay.
But what my man United Cass is letting everybody know that this is a very serious thing. And before we get to Australia, Cass, and really break that one down, because I'm glad you kind of linked those two together, because I wanted to stop you and just kind of like explain that that's exactly how the reaction went. It wasn't UK first. It was when Australia did it
in 2019. That's what I'm saying.
That's right. UK followed suit. My man Cass is saying UK followed suit.
Yes, they did.
And basically, man, it wouldn't surprise me if UK was just going to wait and see what came out of the Australian situation, since we still haven't heard anything, or they might have not have found nothing, but we don't know yet. But go ahead and elaborate on that, Cass.
Yes, but what we did find is that they were fined $3.5 million. Okay, for these particular customers, for blatantly lying. And like I said, who knows how many other customers they lied to. So when
now wait a minute, so you're telling me that I was telling the truth?
Yeah, when UK got a whiff of this, they said, okay, we're going to conduct an investigation up here now, because now Sony then had to pay. They got a console coming out, for God's sakes, at the end of the year, but they out here doing this type of stuff and having to pay people because they're being fraudulent, bro. Like
now you nodded.
Yeah.
Now you nodded.
Go ahead, my man.
I'm seeing the report that you sent me, man. Woo, this one's crazy, man.
It's nuts, man. And you know what, too? Let me just say this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Off of games that were not working properly. Not only did they lie to them, they came back and said these games were not working properly, my man. It's in the investigation right here. It's in the paperwork.
Okay.
It says that. Okay. Unbelievable. I'm
finna get in here, and we're gonna make sure that Cass is not lying about any of his accusations. We're gonna make sure. Okay. I'm reading thoroughly, people, and I'm gonna start with this one. There's two. Let's put it like this. There's two headquarters for Sony, right? The one that's no longer, because we already know the one in Japan is no longer. So they got the one in Santa Monica, California, which is the USA, and they got the Sony Europe.
They got Europe.
Well, Sony Europe is the one that Cass is talking about, right? And it's a unit of Japan Sony Corp. So it violated Australian consumer law by telling consumers it did not have to give them refunds for faulty games that had been downloaded.
Yes, sir.
Or more than 14 days since purchase.
Yes, sir.
So the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, which is the ACCC, said it was court filing. It had a court filing made public on Wednesday. Go ahead, carry on, man. Carry on. I want you to elaborate on that.
Yeah. So once they found that, then that's when they lead into to started saying that, they started telling them the lies and stuff. So once Australia found out that, because you got to remember, in 2019 they had already threatened to take them to court. And now they took them, and now this is the fallout from this. You see what I'm saying? So once they found that out, that's when UK stepped in and said, hey, listen, we have to do an investigation as well, and we will take action if we find out that this has come to pass in Europe as well. You see what I'm saying? We already know what took place in Australia. We already understand that. But see, this is just a long laundry list, man. Would you understand of not only security breaches, not only anti-consumer debacles, a whole bunch of things, my man, Legal, and you know that.
It's crazy, man.
And it's just all coming to the light in a big, in a big room where everybody can see, and I believe people see it, but they just refuse to accept it. Why? Because it's Sony. You know what I mean? But my philosophy is this. Listen, I don't care if I'm a gamer, I'm a consumer first. I want to make sure that the company I'm dealing with, I can trust. If I can't trust them, I forget them. That's how I look at it. I don't care how good their games are, because they're not going to consider me as a customer. So why should I give them my money if they're going to do somebody like this? That's unbelievably anti-consumer as you can get. That's just criminal, period. I'm outdone. I'll tell you that right, my man.
No, man.
I'm outdone.
No, man. You made a good point, because I'm looking at this, man, and
it's unbelievable.
When Sony did agree to a refund, so they did acknowledge the refund, right?
They acknowledged
when
the refund.
They did agree to it. Watch this. It told consumers it could do so only with stored credits rather than cash. Now watch this.
Man.
Sony Europe gave false and misleading information to customers about their rights in relation to games sold via its PlayStation Store. The ACCC chair Rod Sims said in a statement. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Consumer guarantees do not expire after a digital product has been downloaded, as we allege Sony Europe told consumers. And refunds must be given in the form of original payments unless a consumer chooses to receive it as stored credit. So here we got Sony sitting up here telling people that they need to get their in-store credit by way of digital, like that was the only option they had. And look, put that first when they know damn well they have the choice to do it. Leave it up to your consumer.
Yes,
leave it up to you. Leave it up to the people that are actually putting the investment into your company. But no, that's not good. That's not good enough for Sony.
That's not good enough
for Sony. Feels like they don't need.
They want to take over, man.
Here's the fact.
They want to be like our government and control us, bro.
Right. Here's a fact. Here's a fact. Right. Now watch this. Here's a fact. Sony felt like it didn't have to upgrade its software for you. So it put all your personal information at risk. And you're okay with that. See, you're okay with that because that's a company you support. You're okay with that. They also said that the ACC did not specify what damage it was seeking with the lawsuit. But I think my comrade here already let us know how much the lawsuit ended up being. But
3.5 million.
That Australian users were seeking to obtain refunds, and he is right. It was 4 customers that complained with a notion that they had found a 5th one. Okay. So 5 customers all rebelled against this bad practice of Sony and their lies.
That had been going on for years.
People.
That had been going on for years.
This has been going on for over 7 years.
Make it seem like it's just starting, but it's been going on for a long time, man. Yeah, been going on for a long time.
What was it, fam?
$3.5 million that was paid out.
That's insane, bro.
That's just ridiculous. And they lucky it was just only that much. When you giving out some broken games, I mean, come on, you serious?
Yeah, and then you giving out. Yeah, then you giving out broken.
You can't
games,
get much more dirtier than that, can you? I don't think. The only way you would have got more dirtier is if people would have got their identity stolen, and that would have been.
That already happened.
Yeah,
that's why you would think
we don't have anything particularly here in front of us that says that, but you can guarantee you. I mean, unless you got some information on that, my man.
No, but I'm just saying, you would think that with that information,
you setting people up. You setting them up for sure.
Man, you setting people up, man. You're not even caring about the consumers that actually invest in you, because I mean, you're in that need of money. You're in that much need of money to where you would con your own consumers, man. So I guess it's not a big deal because PlayStation sold 100 million consoles. That's just 100 million suckers, man. That's how they look at it.
And that's
to them, it's 100 million suckers.
That's the thing, man. See, it's not the fact that Sony doesn't. What's so funny is that some of the stuff Sony don't even admit to. You see what I'm saying? They just go on like business, like a day at the office, like it ain't nothing. Because people accept it, and people don't vote with their wallets. They just keep on going on. So guess what? Sony just said, "Okay, come on, we'll take it. Come on, just keep on going." So
you're telling me, right? You're not even telling me. We know that Sony has a history of whenever they see something that's not right, they won't even speak on it.
Well, not all, but what they do, they're bold.
They'll keep it quiet, knowing that something's not right.
That's true, but then they're bold enough also to tell you, listen, we know our security's like this, but we're not planning on putting any money towards it. You can't get them more bold than that.
That's crazy, man.
And then people still come to their service. But you do see services like PS Now not doing as good as it should do because of certain practices and certain things that they're doing. You charging people twice for games to play games twice, and stuff like that.
But you know what? It makes sense.
Come on, man.
And if so, why would people invest in something that they know is not right? But then again, you're doing it anyway. You're still supporting them.
Yeah.
That's the part I don't understand.
That's the part, man. And they got people brainwashed to like I ain't never seen. I mean, it's some modern day slavery they got going on here. I mean, sheesh. That's pretty deep right there. Deep cover, undercover. Let's put it like that. You know that's how. Oh man, unbelievable.
It's crazy, man. I'm glad you said it. So now that we have everything that's going on, and we've thoroughly investigated from 3 countries.
Yeah.
It has been brought to our attention, and we have presented all our evidence to the courts.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what the judge has to say now, man. It is to our hearing that Sony has been guilty on all accounts, lying, withholding information from their consumers, and allowing their software to not be updated, breaching millions and millions of people's identities and personal information across the world.
Yeah.
Sony, you have been found guilty at all accounts.
Guilty as charged.
And your future, what Xbox going in the next generation, doesn't look very good.
Is in doubt.
It's not looking very good.
Very shady, very, very shaky.
We still haven't found any bad things on Microsoft or Nintendo yet, and
not this moment.
we might possibly not, because they're not known for selling out their consumers like that.
Not quite like that.
Information online where it's breached and millions of their customers are and their information and lives are in jeopardy because of it. We've never heard anything like that. Their software updates outdated. We ain't never heard nothing like that.
Nothing like that. Now, you're not going to hit that with Microsoft.
Guilty,
Microsoft
Sony.
is a software company, and they would hope that this doesn't carry.
They have to keep their stuff current
into next gen. All right, at an alarming rate. I mean, who knows how this is going to really carry over? We don't know. But I tell you one thing: the PlayStation 5 just got more expensive with this here. It just got more expensive. Okay, and I just want to say this too. I'm gonna throw all this in there. We talked about a number of things today. You talked about the hack. You talked about the security. You talked about how it happened in 2011, 2013, 2019. Now here we are in 2020. Right. We just talk about these situations here as far as the evidence and stuff that we see in front of us. But the whole gen since 2013, they've been doing stuff like this. Right. From first party debacles with The Last of Us.
That was last. The key thing is what. Right. The key thing to what you're saying is the information that I brought up in the beginning was last generation. We carried that over. That's so true.
From last generation to this generation too. Most of the stuff they've been doing has been a lot has been doing the whole generation, man. You know, the compromise of credit cards, all that goes all across the board. And you know their best comeback is? Xbox ain't got no games. But they out here doing the most and killing the customers. Are you serious?
Well, we put it like this, Cass. It's okay, man. Whatever they got to say is okay, because we're going into next generation with the best console, with the best features,
that's it, and the best
and the most games. And look, and the best infrastructure and the most games. So with that, on that principle, fam, I think we did an incredible, and this was we wanted to make this swift. We wanted to make this as swift as a judgment as we can, and not make this go into a long trial. So we wanted to make it swift, and we wanted to bring justice to the table. And we found Sony, all counts guilty as charged. Sony will be going to the prison halls for life with no eligibility of parole. You have put millions of people's lives at risk, and for that, you are just too dangerous to be let back out in society.
That's for sure.
We can't trust you anymore, and you've let your own company within your own consumers down, and the people that work for you. This has been the new legal deep cover when deep cover goes deep cover. With my man United Cast, thank you very much for this thorough investigation, sir.
Yes, sir.
And this has been.
It was my enjoyment to be on here with you, man. You know
it, fam. Hey, you guys.
Live from the streets.
That's it, boy. We live from the streets. We live from the streets. Hey, it's going down. Criminal activities. We don't vouch for it. And you guys, we did our thing, man.
That's it,
Hopefully,
man. We brought it to them.
Anybody else who thinks that they can get over on their gamers, feels like they can't, they don't have to go with the regulations around the world, we will do whatever we have to do, and we will find you. This has been Deep Cover of Deep Cover. United Cast, new legal, represent Di-RREC Gaming. We out of here. Until next time, guys, keep it gaming, and we will see you guys soon.